So I feel that when an injustice is heaped on those people, it's a responsibility of people like Pinarayi Vijayan to comment on that. And further, Karnataka is very much part of India and it is governed under the Indian Constitution. Any citizen, every citizen has a fundamental right to comment about any incident, development that is happening across the nation. I myself, as a member of parliament, have visited many states from Manipur to Kashmir to UP when such injustices were heaped on those people. And I also would like to remind him about the statements made by his own chief minister, Siddha Ramaiah. If you want me to quote the date, I can say you, 2015, I think October, when he commented about Dadri Linji.
Right.
The plethora of statements that have emanated from Congress chief ministers, from Revant Reddy to Ashok Gehlot, and even Bhupesh Baghel called Yogi Adityanath a bulldozer nath. Where was D.K. Shivakumar when these chief ministers were commenting about developments that happened elsewhere in other states?
Right.
So it's a pity on D.K. Shivakumar that he is commenting in such a nature.
Okay, so Mr. Prijasu, that's a strong defense, but many would also say that the left's proactive raising of this issue is also because we saw in the local polls recently, not only did the UDF do well, it also became clear that Muslims are backing the UDF. Are you trying to raise this issue only because you want to reach out to Muslims ahead of Kerala elections 2026?
Madam, when we visited Manipur, Kashmir or UP or Chhattisgarh, was there elections round the corner in Kerala? We don't look at the Kerala politics or rather the election quotient when we comment about incidents happening elsewhere. Maybe the Congress High Command and AICC General Secretary could be outraged because there is election round the corner. He should check with his own colleague, K.C. Venugopal, whether there is any, electoral overtones with regard to the response of the Congress High Command when it reportedly directed the Karnataka government to make sure that justice is given to those hapless people. That's all.
Right. Mr. Britas, talking about Kerala, we also saw the UDF raise the Sabrimala theft issue in a big way. That's also a very sensitive matter. You're justifying one chief minister taking on another state chief minister for issues that he feels are important. Tomorrow, would you and your party be okay with someone like Yogi Adityanath, the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, addressing a series of rallies in Kerala to raise the Sabrimala theft matter only because that's an issue that's important to him?
So what is Yogi Adityanath? All those people were coming to Kerala. Is it not a fact that regularly BJP leaders from Prime Minister to Home Minister, all those people land in Kerala and make unfounded statements against Kerala government? They have been doing it. And they will always do that also. Even the Congress leaders. I could see Revant Reddy, making statements against Kerala government maybe a couple of months back or weeks back. So they are doing it. Just because, you see, we don't comment about other places, we don't expect them to not comment about Kerala. Let them comment about Kerala. The people of Kerala will realize where their statements are hollow, where their allegations are unfounded, where their charges are vicious, malicious. We'll judge over that.
So you're democratic in that fashion because you're saying that others are also welcome to comment on what's happening in Kerala. But you personally have also been attacking Rahul Gandhi on different political fronts. You've also questioned his absence in Manrega debate. Is this all an attempt by the left to show how capable it is to take on the Congress given that state elections are just 3 months away?
The UDF, that is Congress, has been our adversary in Kerala politics for a long time, very long time. And even now it is like that only. And we have our set of differences which we don't camouflage. Nevertheless, at the national level, we align with Congress so that we can checkmate the BJP politics. Even when we defeated the Congress candidates, in 2004 we came forward to extend our unstinted support to Manmohan Singh government because we were committed to our cause of having a secular government. Having said that, whenever we have our own apprehensions, our own stance, we would air them. It's not that, you see, I just took on Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is a huge, humongous, mighty leader compared to a small political activist like me. But naturally, it's not because of elections, not because of, say,
Right.
socio-political factors, facets, the community standings, or what the Muslims think or the Hindus think. It's not like that. We have a principled position in national politics, and on the basis of that, we comment on developments that happen in national politics.
So it's all principles, not politics, that's playing out. My last question to you, Mr. Britas, how do you look at the intervention of Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal in this matter? You spoke about this. Kindly elaborate, because while we see this as reprimanding, D.K. Shivakumar has said that it's just advice from a senior. Also, do you think the rehabilitation that was announced today, is that also a result of the pressure that was created on the Congress government in Karnataka?
Absolutely correct. For a week or so, the Karnataka government didn't even care to look at those people, 1,500, 2,000 people. Even pregnant women, children, senior citizens who were thrown out of their houses. Only because the pressure mounted, only because we went to those places, only because the Kerala Chief Minister commented about that, they were compelled to look at those hapless people. And I think the real grievance that D.K. Shivakumar must be having could be with AICC General Secretary K.C. Venugopal, because K.C. Venugopal understood that. See, having such an unfortunate incident, that to a bulldozer Raj happening in Karnataka, what could be their moral right to point their finger at Yogi Adityanath or somebody else in Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh? The whole legitimacy, the moral, I would say the high pedestal which they were trying to have, got demolished actually in Karnataka. They are the same league with BJP governments. It was made amply clear. So I feel that D.K. Shivakumar must be pouring his agony against the stand taken by the Congress High Command and especially by the AICC General Secretary K.C. Venugopal.
Okay. CPM MP John Britas there. Thank you so much, Mr. Britas, speaking on the politics of demolition and why the left has decided to speak on the alleged failings of the Congress government in Karnataka. Also joining us now, Prashant GS, spokesperson BJP. We have B.S. Arun, a senior journalist. We have Bhavya Narasimhamurthy from the Congress party. Prashant, thank you so much for waiting, all of you. Prashant, to you first. You have defended bulldozer action in BJP-ruled states. You can't really oppose it now. Is that why you're choosing, the party is choosing to talk about how can K.C. Venugopal talk about what's happening in Karnataka? Is the party in a sense of a dilemma because this is not something you can in an outright way oppose?
Masuda, there are two sides to this issue. Let me point out both of them. One, anybody who encroaches on government land has to be removed, dehorse their religion. Therefore, and in any part of the country. So once you are talking about government land being encroached, it is not limited to Karnataka or Telangana or Kerala. In any part or any state of the country, if there is encroachment of government land, the respective state governments have the authority and they should use authority to demolish those illegal encroachments. Be that as it may, assuming for a moment that Congress has taken the right position in terms of eviction of the encroachers who are illegally staying or whatever D.K. Shivakumar claims. But now, look at the issue in administration. Neither Shivakumar nor Siddaramaiah are able to have a say in what has to be done in the demolition process. But you have a super CM called K.C. Venugopal who will issue diktats to Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar what has to be done and also what should not be done. Because you look at how Congress has continuously engaged with Kerala government and its MP Priyanka Vadra, because they wanted to open the Bandipur forest route only to ensure access to her constituency. And when an elephant apparently belonging to Karnataka trampled a person in Kerala, Siddaramaiah announced 15 lakhs compensation, stating that Karnataka elephant killed a Kerala person. On humanitarian grounds, we were not against it. But when people of Karnataka were suffering, Siddaramaiah did not announce such compensation at that speed.
Respond to that.
Also, Siddaramaiah announced 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs compensation for other disasters in Kerala, whereas when it came to issues of farmers, in Karnataka.
So the Karnataka
who are
Congress
ravaged by
leaders
flood.
are fighting
Congress
amongst
did
themselves,
nothing.
or just
So KC Venugopal
indulging in
decides what
governance
has to be done,
follow
and
the...
they're following.
Okay, Bhavya, answer that.
Yeah. So Vasudha, this whole issue has two sides. One, the humanitarian issue, and the other one is an administrative issue. Bangalore is fast growing, one of the fastest growing cities. And the challenges we are facing, and solid waste management comes on top of it. This 15 acres of land was important for the government to make sure that, city remains clean. Now you see there are so many complaints about it, and for the past, the previous government, what all they had done, it is important for us to make it right. And recent demolition that happened, because I want to respond to both, CPI spokesperson as well as the BJP spokesperson. That's why I'm just bringing the whole thing, the history of this. In fact, 9 years ago, one of the notice was issued to them. And after that, so many governments, they have tried to, issue the notice and nothing really happened. But now that DK Shivkumar, the Bangalore in-charge minister, deputy chief minister, he took it really seriously. And it is important that, our city remains clean and we properly manage this solid waste that the city produces.
Bhavya, my simple question to you, Bhavya, my simple question to you, if the demolitions were lawful, why was rehabilitation announced only after the outrage and political backlash? Because it seems like an afterthought.
No. The thing is, the compensation for anyone who is eligible, even today, will be provided under the law because they were given due notice. Because this became a big outrage, the compensation, whatever we are providing, it looks like we are doing it only after the outrage or whatever. But don't you think now, whatever the left is saying or whatever the BJP, they are against each other, not us. We are a balanced party. We have taken the balanced decision. One, quickly. Of course, it is important to demolish and take that government land back in control. Second point, it is important to see whoever is eligible get their compensation and on a humanitarian basis.
Okay, it's all humanitarian.
And we are not going to tolerate any kind of government.
Before I give the chance to B.S. Arun, Prashant, respond to Bhavya.
The Congress has always indulged in appeasement, and there is no doubt on it, because they have tilted the issue to suit their convenience time and again. When a government land encroachment happens in UP and MP and the demolitions are carried out, Congress cries about injustice, and now here they support it. Fine. Congress should stop being hypocritical and accept that rule of law has to be followed in all places. The Gandhi family should not have a different position of law compared to others, and a constituency represented by Priyanka Vadra cannot have
Prashant, in
special
other words,
would you accept
that rehabilitation should be mandatory after demolitions? Because you can criticize the Congress for all that you want, but it is important to accept that rehabilitation is mandatory. We have seen in so many states that bulldozer action takes place and victims have to suffer in silence for years. So this is something that needs to happen in all states. Would you agree with that?
Vasudha, if somebody is illegally encroached upon and saying that now look, government has to give me a land or rehabilitate them, it may not be. Are you saying that you encroach upon government property, stay there, and then when you are asked to get away, you say that give me a flat in return? Is that how democracy works? Can you do that? Can you have governments at ransom? But what has Congress done here? Congress probably has got its act right. They did not realize that it was their vote bank which they were targeting. Once CPM alerted them saying, look, it is your vote bank, our vote bank, Common India Alliance vote bank you have targeted. Now they've jumped the gun and probably announced compensation. You look at the statements of the leaders post the demolition, first couple of days, and now how the statements are coming. You can clearly see the pattern of the Congress
Prashant and Bhavya, I'll have to just get in Mr. Arun here. Mr. Arun, has bulldozer politics become a political... Yeah, Bhavya, I'll just come to you. B.S. Arun has been waiting for a long time. How do you look at the politics of this issue play out, sir? Because it looks to me that bulldozer politics has become a political tool rather than, an administrative action, something that needs to be done with both humanitarian ideas in mind and also the fact that there is governance that needs to be delivered.
Yes, absolutely, Vasudha. This is not the first time that demolitions are taking place. And no government, whether it's BJP or the Congress, had moved in such a fashion. to announce rehabilitation package, that they would be given houses and all that. Clearly, the Karnataka government was shaken by the stand taken by Pinarayi Vijayan, and it had also shaken Venugopal, K.C. Venugopal, the General Secretary, because he's a strong contender to the chief ministership should Congress come to power, should the UDF come to power in Kerala in next April-May elections. So this has really propelled the Congress to act, because of which Siddaramaiah and his deputy D.K. Shivkumar hurriedly announced a rehabilitation package, and also D.K. Shivkumar, as you can see on the screen, visited the site. The fact is, Vasudha, yesterday the Bangalore commissioner released released some of the software pictures, and according to which, by 2016 there were no encroachment in that area. So which also shows that probably what the residents are saying could not be truth. So on what basis the state government will now announce the houses for these people? Okay. What is the eligibility criteria? The state government must make it clear as to what is meant by the eligibility, whether it's based on seniority. I believe there are some 38 lakh people of Karnataka who are waiting for a roof on their heads. So will these affected people in Kogilu layout, Kogilu area, will they get the priority over these people? That's an important question.
Bhavya, you have too many questions to answer now. Come on.
First one, this is to counter what Prashant was saying. We do not bring religion in this.
But Prashant had a very nice chronology.
These people had belonged to.
Made a mistake.
We do not appease. This was not to appease any religion, or this was not to appease anyone. This was purely based on humanitarian grounds. And the second one, he was asking if anyone can commend approach. Of course not. Our housing minister, Zamir Ahmed Khan, has been given this task of identifying people who are deserving. And then before the 1st of Jan, to address the spokesperson of CPI, who was very concerned about the people there. Yes, we are equally concerned. Before the 1st of Jan, they will be allotted these houses. We actually will be allotting houses like 7 kilometers from this Kogilu, where we have actually built houses at a cost of 11 lakh rupees for the poor people of Karnataka. And our government in so far has built 1 lakh houses for the poor.
The Congress's moral position to oppose any bulldozer action in any part of the country, because every time there's bulldozer action, the Congress goes up in arms. But now I think you may not really have that kind of moral position. Prashant ji, yes.
Oh, okay. The thing is, when you talk about bulldozer,
Bhavya, I'll come to you. Bhavya, I'll come to you. Let Prashant respond.
Look at what Congress is doing. They are now legalizing illegal immigrants encroaching upon government lands belonging to a particular community, as Congress and CPM now agree.
No, we can't really call anybody illegal, right? I mean, how do we know they are illegal immigrants?
Exactly, I'm saying their position. Vasudha, I'm saying their position is that if anybody, even if there's an illegal immigrant staying or illegally occupying government lands...
That is just a question, right? We can't call anybody illegal.
No, Vasudha, let me complete. The position of CPM and Congress is anybody can encroach upon government lands and then
they can be encroachers, but they're not illegal citizens. They may or may not be legal citizens.
By the government. Is that how democracy works? You encroach upon government land, and when you're asked to vacate, can you demand a house in return?
Okay, quickly, Bhavya, respond to that. Bhavya, quickly respond to that.
My first question to them, please define illegal immigrant. There is nothing called illegal immigrants. No state issues a visa for anyone entering. In fact, there are so many North Indians living in Bangalore. Like, how do you define this illegal immigrants? Are you
you cannot talk about Indians.
Social
status? About people from across the border who are coming to India, the Rohingyas, the Bangladeshis who were caught. Everybody.
So you're calling the Kogilu
Indians. Okay, you're not talking about North Indians. I was talking about people from a different country illegally staying in India.
Please define illegal immigration.
That's a completely different debate. We will discuss that in the context of infiltration. Thank you so much, all of you, for being part of this broadcast. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Bhavya. Thank you, Arun sir, for being part of the show. As the dust settles on demolitions, the political storm is only getting louder over Karnataka's decision to rehabilitate people and also offer relief to displaced families. We'll keep tracking this story. With that, it's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Fenesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs. इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Find Finer Fenesta.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Yeah.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Masterstroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Masterstroke Art Awards. An odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Welcome back. Dehradun police have now ruled out racial motives in the death of Angel Chakma, a 22-year-old student from Tripura whose death triggered anger and grief across the country. Officials have said that remarks exchanged before the incident were made in jest and should not be construed as racial abuse. There was no planning to the murder. Confusion led to the crime. That's what police have said. Angel Chakma was studying in Dehradun. He was studying MBA in a college and was amongst the first in his batch to get placed. He died, unfortunately, following an altercation with fellow students that led to arrests of 5 people. Angel Chakma's family and members of the Chakma community have alleged that the confrontation carried racial undertones, pointing to discrimination that's often faced by students from India's northeast. Police, however, insisted that their investigation did not find any evidence of a hate crime. It was not a racial attack. That's what a senior police officer said. He also added that comments were casual in nature and they were not intended to offend. Now, all of this is very difficult to believe because we do have the testimonies of the brother also. Now, the case has sparked a wider debate on student safety, racial sensitivity and the treatment of minority communities in India's educational hubs. In Tripura, community leaders have demanded a deeper probe, while student groups in Dehradun have called for stronger anti-discrimination measures on campuses. So what are the claims of these police? Is this an eyewash to hide the actual crime? Or do we need to look deeper into the reasons? Let's first take a look at some reactions.
जो इंसिडेंट हुआ ये क्या कहीं प्रायोजित तो नहीं था, कहीं पूर्व सुनियोजित तो नहीं था, या किसी और कारणों से इंटेंशन से यह घटना तो कारित नहीं की गई, लेकिन सबके द्वारा अलग अलग इंफॉर्मेशन बताया गया कि सडन हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट में एक कंफ्यूजन में हुआ और जब ज्यादा आक्रोशित हो गए तो इसमें इस तरह से आवेश में आकर इस तरह से हमला कर लिया। कहीं कोई इंटेंशन मारने की थी। नॉन में जब लिखा जाता है केस तो उसकी जाति जब क्लियर ही नहीं कि सामने वाला कौन था और विक्टिम जो बता रहा है तो उसके बाद सामने वाली पार्टी कौन थी। और जब ये जांच के बाद जब हमने उनको 14 तारीख को पूरी जांच करने के बाद जब इनको आइडेंटिफाई करके अरेस्ट किया था तो उसमें 3 लोग जो है खुद ही उसी मतलब जैसे कहा गया कि एक मणिपुर का खुद ही एक था, वो खुद शेड्यूल ट्राइब से था, एक यहाँ का शेड्यूल ट्राइब से था। तो वो जो नस्ली भावनाएं जो हम समझते हैं कि कहीं ना कहीं तभी उत्पन्न होती हैं जब हम डिफरेंस ऑफ रेस, रिलीजन या कास्ट या हम प्लेस ऑफ ओरिजिन से हम डिफरेंशिएट करते हैं अपने आप को। इस केस में ऐसा नहीं था कि जो ग्रुप था उसमें से खुद ही ट्राइबल उसमें बैकग्राउंड से थे, तो रेशियलिज्म की जो बात है वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में अभी तक नहीं आई है।
हम लोग आ रहे थे उधर से, तो हम लोग आए तो हम लोग अपना बाइक से अपना आ रहे थे हम लोग सब। तो उन लोग हम लोग को मेरे को थोड़ा पोक कर रहा था कि चिंकी उनकी मेरे को थोड़ा सा रेसिज्म कर रहा था। तो मैं थोड़ा अपने तरफ से अपने सेल्फ डिफेंस मतलब थोड़ा बोल रहा था कि भैया क्या हो गया करके उधर पे। हम लोग अपना उस समय फोन में बात कर रहा था, मैं अपना बस मैं अपना कन्फेस किया कि भैया क्या हुआ, गाली क्यों दे रहे हो। तो उनका वो प्लानिंग था क्या था वो मेरे को पता नहीं, पर उन्होंने डायरेक्ट मेरे में अटैक कर दिया उन लोग ने। तो फिर भैया आया मेरे को बचाने के लिए आया, फिर भैया को मेरे को कड़ा से मारा लगा उससे, फिर भैया को उन लोगों ने चाकू मार दिया स्पाइन की तरफ में।
We're joined by Alok Lal, who's a former DGP Uttarakhand. We are also joined by Subir Bhaumik, who's a senior journalist. We have Laiju Brahma, and Laiju heads the All Bodo Students Union. Thank you. He's the General Secretary there. Thank you all of you for being part of the broadcast. Mr. Alok Lal, I remember speaking to you yesterday and you hinted at this, the fact that there could or could not be any evidence of this being a racial crime. How do you interpret the police's dismissal of racial motives, and what does this also talk about our own systemic bias in India against crimes like this?
Basudha, I am not personally involved in the investigation. All I know about this case is through either media or through hearsay.
Yes, sir.
So what the SSP has said today is based on what he has closely supervised the investigation itself. And he has spoken to a number of people, as he says.
Right.
And the circumstances that surrounded this unfortunate incident. Well, I will not go by what the SSP has said straight away, because this is an investigation which might take a few days more to arrive at a conclusion which cannot be denied. So what I'll say is that we should look at the enormity of this crime. This is very unfortunate, and we should look at it with the acceptance that we have a racial attitude in our society, yes, and racialism has to be put down. So to prevent and to respond to these activities has to be seen to be being done by the government and by the police. I think, therefore, while the statement of the SSP cannot be dismissed straight away,
right,
but we must look at it from especially from the statement of the brother who was there.
Right.
And the brother keeps saying that there was a racial slur.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which began the whole
That's a very,
thing.
very important
So
point, Mr. Lal.
dismiss.
Yeah, let me get in Elijah Brahma as well. Elijah Brahma, how do you look at whatever the SSP has said today? Because the investigation is still going on. We already have the testimonies, the statements of Michael Chakma, who was present there at that incident spot. But what kind of impact does this have on, students from the Northeast?
I'm so sorry, the audio is very less, so I can't hear much, but I'll just speak what's on my mind. This kind of things keep on happening, but it has been many years since it didn't happen, but now it has happened again. So our northeastern blood is boiling like crazy. It feels very unsafe for our future students also. Not only us, we have already finished our studies, but it's giving us a very genuine and concern that what will happen to our upcoming students. So I hope the police will take the required action they should take for our northeastern people, and I hope everyone normalizes us and treat us like every Indian are treated.
Right.
That's all.
Subir Bhaumik, we have heard the brother talk about the kind of racial slurs that were used on that particular day. This is a man who has died. This is a student who has died. So clearly, when police say that there was no racial angle to this, is there a part of you that wants to question that? Because I'm not ready to believe that all of this just happened in jest.
Well, I'm myself from Tripura, and I know the Chakma community very well. They're very well integrated, into the Indian quote-unquote mainstream. I really don't believe in this nonsense of mainstream, because there can't be one mainstream and all other streams flowing into it. India is a diverse country, and we all need to respect diversity. Vasudha, these things have been happening for a long, long time. And this racialism, I can give you some definite evidence. Apart from the attacks on people from Northeast, they multiplied in Delhi to the extent that the Delhi police had to start a special helpline and put somebody from Northeast in charge of that, to monitor such crimes or to, come up with, proper action as and when the crimes were reported.
Right.
But, this is something that policing cannot handle, for the very simple reason that if this, you set up something in Delhi, it happens somewhere else like Dehradun. Now, I spent my childhood in Dehradun. I studied in RIMC Dehradun. I'm a student from there in the military school. These things don't exist in military schools because you are taught very early that everybody is an Indian and everybody has the same rights. But, this persists in other educational institutions. And, I really take umbrage with the fact the investigating officer saying there were some casual remarks.
Yes.
Now, if you call somebody chinky, momo,
it's not casual at all.
You think it is a casual remark, well,
Absolutely.
this is definitely racist.
Absolutely.
I'll give you one small example. A top columnist in one of the leading papers of the country, I don't want to take names, wrote that thankfully I went there and I got a proper, treatment in a proper spa, and not from a Linda from Northeast. Because, in this hospitality trade, a lot of these girls from Northeast, they are preponderant. So obviously this columnist, well known, had an issue. So these things are reflected not only, when these kind of incidents happen when people go and beat up each other, but point here is that this was a case of murder.
Right.
So, and
that's
murder
a very
in the sense that,
reflection point, Subir Bhaumik, for all of us, because the language is the first way of, sort of bridge of communication. And, you did a nice thing by pointing out that often what we see as casual might have those racial undertones that we need to reflect upon. We also joined by Philip Takil Changbam, who is a PhD candidate from the Center of Political Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Thank you, Philip. How do you explain the impact of Angel Chakma's murder on the students from the northeast of India, because the murder is one unfortunate reality. It's tragic. It's still sinking in. But now the police is also saying, they're also saying that there may not have been a racial angle to this. So help us understand, how are you all coping?
Thank you, Basudha. First of all, thank you so much for having me. How do this incident impact the student community from Northeast India here in Delhi? This is the question. If truly speaking, first of all, we are truly second, and we are really infuriated by the thing that have been unfolded recently. But the more interesting fact here is how do the public respond to this situation? Because this is not something that we are facing right now, all of a new. These are numerous incidents. These are the incidents that we have been facing for so long that we keep facing on for decades. Let me go back to back in 2014 when Nido Tania was killed, brutally murdered in Delhi Lajpat Nagar.
Yes.
There was a huge protest from the student community. Even a committee was formed to seek recommendation for combating this issue.
Yeah.
But how far this committee, the recommendation of the Base Bara committee that was constituted in 2014 back then by the UPA government.
Philip, one more question to you, Philip. One more question to you. One of the main recommendations of that Base Bara committee was also a law to counter racial abuse, specifically for students of northeastern states. Do you think that the time is now, at least, like, you know, it's a reminder that there needs to be a law like that? Or is it just about, because yesterday I did speak to a lot of people, Alok Lal and a lot of other people have been stressing on behavioral change, the kind of language that we need to improve, the kind of communities that we need to build, and not just laws, because laws often exist. It's just about implementation and bringing about societal change. Do you think that laws might bring the required change that you want?
Okay, about laws. In a society, we need laws. We cannot guarantee that by having laws, we cannot stop racism or this kind of racial injustices committed towards a particular community, because racism operates capillary. Racism operates in the micro practices of power relations and everyday discriminations. So even if we have laws, we can't guarantee that this will abruptly stop these racial practices, but at least there will be a safeguard for the student, for the people coming from that particular region who are working here in call centers, in malls, in service sectors, and mostly the student community, and the women who have been constantly a target of the racial practices across the mainstream.
Absolutely, Philip. That's a very important point. There needs to be that extra layer of protection assurance, especially from the legal side. Alok Lal, there's one thing that the SSP said, which is making me think. He's saying that 3 of the 5 accused also, I mean, one of them is a minor and one of them comes from the ST community, and one of them was from Manipur. And he says that that's also a reason why he thinks that this may not have racial undertones, because racial discrimination is often carried out by people who come from a different, race. How do you look at that?
Yes, that's a statement from SSB which has got to be taken seriously, because those who attacked.
Let me clarify this. I find it.
1 second, Philip.
I find it very.
Yeah, Philip, please go on.
I find it very funny with the argument, because racism is a very contextual phenomenon. So I'm really interested, who is the person, like the SSB is referring to, the one who comes from Manipur. I want to know the credential of the person. Through my investigation and through my research, I got to know that this is a person who has close ties with the Garhwal community. I don't want to mention the name. So in Uttarakhand, the particular person might not be having any problem with the community coming from the northeast region are facing as they used to face in any other regions. So maybe some other person who comes from from Northeast or Meghalaya or Nagaland might be having problem in Dehradun, but the particular person who comes from this Manipur might not be having any problem with the in this particular.
So there are many
place.
layers to this.
So,
it's a very important point. Alok Lal, please finish your point.
layers of discrimination. It's like
so
an onion. When you
the
open
point
one
that
cover,
Philip is raising.
Philip, I'll just come back to you. Let Alok Lal finish his point. I'll come back to you. Alok Lal,
What Philip has said has got to be taken into consideration when any evidence is being analyzed. Is this man who is from the Northeast, for some reason of his own, attacking this person so badly? It was a big hit. It was a bad hit. It was almost fatal to begin with. Why was he hit so intently as if to cause death? So my feeling is that there was something underlying also in this incident.
Right.
Why this person should be hit so badly in case it was just a local kind of...
Absolutely.
As was stated by the SSP.
So look, I think that is also for the police to investigate. Laiju Brahma is back with us. Laiju, we're talking about how the police have called this, a crime that may not be racial in nature. What kind of impact has this had on students who are still grieving the death of Angel Chakma?
I want to know if this kind of incidents, it doesn't happen very often, but if it happens to mostly Northeastern students. Why is it that? This could have happened to some other people also, but why is it a Northeastern person? Right. Why he is bullied at this point that he died? This is too much. So I want the police to investigate thoroughly, and whatever is it, if it is racial, non-racial, we just need to know why this happened.
Absolutely, that's a very fair ask. Thank you, Ms. Brahma. Subir Bhaumik, for the benefit of our viewers, can you explain to us what is this Chakma community? Who comprise the Chakma community, and they come from Tripura, is what I understand, and also the kind of accusation that this could have been a racial crime, especially coming from the victim's brother himself.
No, Chakmas are basically from Chittagong Hill Tracts, which is now in Bangladesh. Their leaders wanted to join India in 1947 when Cyril Ratcliffe went ahead with the Bengal Boundary Award and gave Chittagong Hill Tracts to Pakistan, but most Chakmas are Buddhists. There are some other tribes there as well, and my book is on Chittagong Hill Tracts actually, so I know these people very well, and I have several Chakma friends. Many of them are in Tripura, many of them are in Mizoram, and quite a few of them were resettled and are now in Arunachal Pradesh, where there is a strident demand by Arunachali Students' Union that they should not be given Indian citizenship. So there are a lot of problems that they face in India. Bulk of them, a huge amount of Chakmas actually migrated to Northeast India in 1960s when Pakistan created the Kaptai Dam on River Karnafuli, which left a lot of people landless because of the creation of reservoirs and all that.
Right.
And interestingly, these Chakma people in Bangladesh from 1975 to 1997, they fought an armed insurgency against Bangladesh government because they protested takeover of tribal lands, and a lot of other issues were there.
Absolutely.
They had demand for autonomy and they fought.
So
but
many layers to this community as well. Right.
But there are people, they have a substantial population in Tripura.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for that understanding. Philip, last word to you. Help us understand what is your ask of the government, of the society, and most importantly, of the police here.
What is my request?
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
So, okay. So I think at the end of the day, it's the government and the police who is going to do the action. I like at the present, it's really infuriating to see how the political parties are throwing the blame game to one another. I don't want to see this incident as some random incident, rather to see as a pattern. You see in 2014, when the NDTV has been the cases of racial discrimination, racial violence is not something new. In 2014, back then it was UPA government, and now the same thing is happening in 2025. Now it's a BJP government. Now the political parties are saying that even the Kapil Sibal from the Congress, they are demanding the Home Minister and Prime Minister. They should do something.
Yes.
So it's more of like blaming each other to get some brownie points for electoral gains.
Absolutely.
We are so fed up with all this politics. We want some real solutions.
Absolutely. So real solutions is what you want. Thank you all of you for... Absolutely, Philip, we get that point. You wanted to say something. Yes, finish your point.
Yeah, real solution in the sense we want to propose to have a very stringent laws to fight this racial discrimination and also to respect the differences across all the communities living in this nation.
Absolutely.
Then only the real solution for racial discrimination will be there. So
I think that's a very fair ask. Stringent laws, stricter implementation, and more importantly, respectful communication and respect for each other's diversity. Thank you all of you for being part of this broadcast. Angel Chakma's murder is not just a tragedy, it's also a mirror to our realities. It cannot be dismissed as remarks in jest, or it just needs to be recognized as a symptom of deeper discrimination, prejudice, bias that our system has. It also needs to force us to think as to how every student in India needs to feel safe, respected and seen. Otherwise, the promise of education would remain incomplete. With that, it's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
It is Asia's richest civic body. 2026 begins with Big Bang BMC poll. High stakes Mumbai battle loading. Can BJP extend Maha winning streak? Existential fight for the Sena. Can the Congress strike a comeback? Maha civic body, massive implications. NDTV tracks the Maha build-up, battleground BMC.
Are you ready for the best show in town? NDTV Golf Pro-Am, we are coming to your city. Stay tuned.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
This was one of the most magical, mystical performances we've seen.
This is like a shrine.
Coming and listening to you is like seeing a maestro perform at that shrine.
I think it was when Nayar sang himself for the longest Qawwali. Yes, that for me was special.
When the first claps came in, I think my only prayers was all of you should be healed. May God give you a lot of prosperity, health, love, long life.
I was mesmerized.
I think it is one of the most magical evenings that I've spent.
बहुत ही अच्छा.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, A.R. Rahman is unmatchable.
It connected me to some spirituality.
This is India for me. This is India. This India I grew up, and this India I'm seeing now. It will never change.
when you have somebody like an A.R. Rahman, legend, maestro, I don't know which word should we choose. It was just a treat.
Pulling us
Other
into this
opposition
country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to. And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude, we're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arur, NDTV.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security.
Home Minister Amit Shah is in West Bengal on a 3-day mission to set the BJP strategy for the upcoming state elections. He has said that the number one issue for the state is infiltration, protecting the state from fear and corruption. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has hit back, calling the SIR a scam and AI-driven exercise that she says will backfire on the BJP. Meanwhile, it's also an end of an era with the death of Khalida Zia, Minister of Bangladesh. What does this mean for India and the future of Bangladesh politics? Those remain our focus tonight, but first take you through the headlines. In a shocking twist, police deny racism in the murder of Tripura student Angel Chakma. They say the accused were just mocking and joking with each other. Home Minister Amit Shah has declared